Ready to dive into some seriously cool brain stuff.
Always.
This deep dive, we're all about upping your communication game, especially at work, right?
Love it.
And this book, Stop Talking, Start Influencing.
Right, Jared Cooney Horvath. Right.
Exactly. He's a cognitive neuroscientist, so
Yeah.
we're getting into how the brain actually learns best.
Which is key if we want our message to stick.
Totally. It's like you're given a big presentation, slides are up,
Everyone's looking like they're paying attention.
but are they really taking it all in?
The age-old question.
This book dives into that text, images, how our brains get overloaded.
Because multitasking, especially with information, it's a myth, honestly.
Okay, so when I'm reading a slide packed with words, trying to listen to the speaker,
Your brain's like, pick one.
my eyes glaze over.
Oh.
That's not just me being rude, it's science.
Cognitive overload, my friend, it's real.
Like trying to listen to a podcast while reading, something's got to give.
100%. So how do we apply that, say, making presentations better?
Avoid that overload for our audience.
This book is big on less is more, especially PowerPoint.
Ditch the paragraphs.
Think keywords, max 7 words a slide. That's a good rule.
And let the images do the talking.
There's a reason they say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Right.
Dual coding theory, visuals, PLUS text, your brain remembers it better.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Visual pictures stick with me way more than words.
It's like creating mental shortcuts for your audience.
Oh, easing that cognitive load you were talking about.
Exactly. And speaking of easing load, layout matters more than you'd think.
Layout. Okay, now I'm really curious.
Our brains, especially the hippocampus, that's like our internal GPS,
Our brains have GPS.
in a way, it craves predictability,
Yeah.
especially with spatial memory.
So, like, I always find my coffee at the store. They never move it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Familiar layout, brain goes on autopilot, frees up space for other stuff.
But then there's magazines. They're always changing things up.
Classic marketing tactic, playing on our need to notice what's different.
So, brains are wired to pay attention to the unexpected. Wild.
It is.
How do we use that, though? I can't redesign my office every week.
No, but think. Reports, presentations.
Okay.
Instead of the same old format. Mix it up visually, guide the eye.
So, break the monotony. People actually pay more attention.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Do the
This is
same.
great stuff. Now, I got to ask about our surroundings, even our mood. How does that factor in?
Context-dependent learning, my friend. Fascinating stuff. Ever run into someone from work, like at the grocery store?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
And your brain just, blank.
The worst.
That, my friend, is context-dependent learning.
Okay, explain it like I am at the grocery store, brain fried.
Our brains love linking info to where we learned it.
So it's the place, not the person.
Kinda. Same reason your childhood home brings back memories.
Or why athletes do better on home turf.
Exactly. It's not just the place, though.
Don't tell me my mood matters too.
State-dependent learning. If you're stressed prepping a presentation.
I'll remember it better when I'm stressed giving it.
Bingo. Same stress. Easier recall. But the flip side
Trying to be calm and collected when I crammed in a panic.
might not go so well, so practice in a similar environment.
If I can't give the presentation in my living room, practice somewhere else.
Exactly. Or a few different places. Get your brain adaptable.
Cross-training for my brain. I like it.
Right. Now, since we're on context, background music, yay or nay.
Oh, the eternal debate. I've heard it both ways.
There's this thing called stochastic resonance.
That's intense.
It basically means the retained kind of noise can help us focus.
Hold up. So coffee shop hum are good for you
Sometimes, like a little background chatter can make a convo easier.
because you tune out the rest to focus on the words.
Right. But key is consistent, neutral noise, white noise, nature sounds.
Not like death metal while I'm doing my taxes.
Probably not ideal. Familiar music can work if it fades to the background.
Finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. Speaking of which, we all think we're multitasking masters.
Oh, I pride myself on it.
This book compares our brains to old video game consoles,
Okay.
one cartridge at a time.
So if I'm writing, emailing, texting,
Cartridges swapping constantly. Each switch has a cost.
task switching tax. I feel that. So less efficient even though it feels like more is getting done.
Often, yes. Now, there is a difference between that and
In what?
stuff that's automatic. Walking, showering.
Right. I can walk and talk.
Yeah,
Usually.
exactly. But even then, split attention means more mistakes, missed turns, sugar in your coffee.
Oh. Okay, point taken.
So prioritize those single cartridge tasks, minimize distractions.
Undivided brain power. This is eye-opening. Now, how's all this tie into memory? The book talks about recall being crucial.
It's not enough just to hear something or even repeat it a bunch.
Cramming isn't the best strategy long term.
Not ideal. It's like imagine making a path through a forest.
Okay, I'm with you.
Each time you recall something, you're walking that path, making it clearer.
So, more I use the info, the stronger the memory.
Exactly. Which brings us to the dreaded tip of the tongue problem.
Ugh, don't get me started.
Instead of getting stuck, the book suggests jot down related words.
Anything that comes to mind.
Yep, then completely switch your focus.
Let my brain work in the background.
Often, the word just POPs up a few minutes later.
Weird, but I'll try anything.
Right. Okay, this one might feel a little manipulative.
People,
Priming. Essentially, first impressions, but on a subconscious level.
subliminal messaging.
Not quite that direct. Think about advertising. Happy families, beautiful scenery,
Makes you feel good about the product.
or word choice. Set free versus let loose.
Subtle, but effective.
Right. Even just showing people enjoying a product influences us.
So our brains are making connections without us realizing. Sneaky.
But by knowing about it, we can be more aware. Now, let's talk storytelling.
Everyone loves a good story.
It's more than entertainment. It's how our brains make sense of the world.
Okay, deeper than I thought.
Right. 3 reasons stories are so powerful. 1, our brains need connections, cause and effect. Stories give us that.
Makes sense.
2, stories make us feel like we're experiencing things firsthand.
Lost in a good book, that's me.
And 3, storytelling releases oxytocin, that feel-good hormone. Builds connection, empathy.
So it's not just the words, it's how they make us feel.
Exactly. So to make your message stick, weave in those anecdotes, personal touches.
Make it human. Love that. Okay, last one. Stress. Usually enemy of productivity, but
But this book says it's not always bad.
don't tell me I work better under pressure.
Hear me out. Chronic stress, terrible. But T, short-term, moderate stress,
Like pre-presentation jitters.
that can actually boost learning and memory.
Seriously.
Cortisol, the stress hormone, in small doses, helps strengthen connections in our brains.
So a little stress is like a workout for my brain. Too much, though.
Burnout. It's about finding the sweet spot. Now, when stress does get the best of us, brain freeze. It's like poof, the information's just gone.
Totally. Big presentation, and my brain decides to take a vacation. Any advice for those moments?
The book suggests something kind of out there.
Out there, how?
Deep squatting?
Wait, like seriously, in the middle of my presentation, I'm gonna...
Huh. Probably not ideal in that moment. But the idea is, if you're feeling that freeze coming on,
Okay.
30, 60 seconds, some deep squats helps burn off excess cortisol.
So it's like a stress reset button for your brain.
Exactly. Gets the blood flowing. But if you can't squat at a moment's notice,
Which, let's be real, is most moments.
anything that gets your muscles working, clench your fists, push against a wall.
Trick my brain into thinking I'm doing something.
Exactly. Now, once you've unfrozen, how to get back on track.
Because usually I just pick up where I left off, but
Try rewinding a bit. Restart a sentence, even a whole paragraph.
giving your brain a running start.
It can help re-engage your working memory, and often, the rest comes flooding back.
This has been amazing. Seriously, brain science to improve communication, who knew?
It's incredible what we're learning about how our minds work, right?
And the best part, this isn't just theory, it's stuff we can actually use.
Exactly.
So, listeners, next time you're prepping a presentation, writing an important email,
Even just trying to get your point across in a meeting.
think about this. More visuals, telling a story, managing that stress beforehand.
Small tweaks, big difference.
And if you want to really geek out on the brain stuff,
Stop talking, start influencing. That's the book.
Jared Cooney Horvath, he knows his stuff. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing.